Today, boys and girls, we are going to learn how to set everything on the Casio AE1000. Starting from the main timekeeping screen, this is how to do the test screen. It is typically true on the vast majority of Casio digital watches. If you press this, and this, as in top left, bottom right, you will get a test screen. It makes it look like the watch is broken. It's not. It's just a test screen. This first screen shows every single possible thing that can be displayed on the panel. And if we press the bottom right, it shows another test screen that shows half of everything that can be displayed. It's kind of neat. Press it again. This is the module revision. Press it again. It goes back to the main timekeeping screen. To set the time, press the top left. Press and hold until you hear a beep, like that. And we start with the seconds. If the seconds are from 0 through 29, and you press the bottom right to adjust, it will zero out the seconds. If it's from 30 to 59 like it is now, and I press the bottom right, it will advance the minute by 1, like that. Notice that the minute has advanced. If I zero out the seconds again while it's from 0 through 29, you'll notice the minute does not advance. We go to the next part, we press bottom left. This goes to the daylight savings time. You'll notice DST is blinking at the top right. You can have daylight savings time on or off by pressing the bottom right. So if I press the bottom right, daylight savings time is off. Notice how the hour went back by 1. Put it back on, the hour goes forward by 1. Go to the next part by pressing bottom left, and we set your home time zone. If I press and hold the actually, does it adjust? I can go backwards or forward actually. So I can press and hold either this one or this one. You'll notice it goes through all the time zones of the world, at least the ones that are programmed into this watch. And anyway, I will set my home time zone to NYC because that is Eastern Standard Time. I live in Florida, but NYC is Eastern Standard, so that's the one that I use. When I'm done, I press bottom left, and then we set the hour. This is set to 12-hour time. I'll explain how to get to 24-hour in just a moment. You adjust forward or backward, and when you're done with that one, press the bottom left. Then we adjust the minute, same thing, forward or backward. When you're done, press bottom left. And here is where we set 12-hour or 24-hour time. Press the bottom left to switch to 24-hour. Press it again, switch back to 12-hour. When you're done with that, press bottom left. Okay, this is year, month, and day. We're on the year right now. I'm going to address something that I've seen as a comment on my other watch videos. Some people look at this watch and say, why can't I set the weekday? As in Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, because this has an auto calendar in it that automatically sets the day for you. That's why. This watch will support years 2000 through 2099. When you're done setting the year, so just make sure the date is correct, and you'll have the correct day of the week displayed on the watch. That's all you have to remember. Anyway, when we're done setting the year, press the bottom left, and then we set the month. The display on this Casio watch, as is on all Casio digital watches as far as I know, is month, day. Can you set this to day, month? No. Month, day is all you get. So you set the month first, which is October. That's when I'm recording this. And then the day, which is October 10. So I set, backwards and forwards. The same as we've been going along here. And then when we're done, press bottom left again. And then notice it says LT at the bottom left. That means light. You can have it set to 1 second, which is actually 1.5 second. A 1.5 second afterglow, or a 3 second afterglow after hitting the light button. And then when we're done with that, press the bottom left. And we're back to seconds again, and we're done. You press the top left. And just to show that light, you'll notice it goes for 1, 2, 3, 3-second afterglow. That's what afterglow means. It means you press it and let go, and the afterglow is 3 seconds. You don't have to press and hold when you do the light thing. Just press and release. That's all you have to do. Now, in addition to that, you do have the ability to display 4 different time zones on the watch. To display your current time zone on the home screen, you press the top left, and it shows NYC, which is my home time zone. So it briefly shows that. There are 4. So if I want to have this thing scroll through all 4 automatically, you press and hold the bottom right for 2 seconds. Hear that beep? And now every 2 seconds, it's going to go through those other time zones. And then when you want to stop doing that, press the bottom right again. Now, to configure those other time zones, you first get to them by pressing the bottom right. Now, if I want to change one of these, say time zone 2, I go to this and I set it the exact same way that I set the time. Press and hold the top left, and first you select the time zone you want with the right side buttons, and then press the bottom left. Now, the interesting thing is that you can, notice the DST is flashing again, you can set daylight savings time individually per time zone, which is actually kind of cool. So you can turn that on or off if you want. For people watching this in the United States, if you want to have, you have to remember, if you're setting these time zones, if you have daylight savings time on for your time zone, you got to do it pretty much for all of them. So just remember that, and then press bottom left again, and you go back, and that's it. So you set, again, you set the time zone. It will automatically adjust based on your home time. Oops. And DST on or off, and that's all you need to know. And then when you're done, you press the top left. The other thing I can show here is that you can actually quick swap one time zone with the other. So I have NYC set as T1. If I go to T4 and I want that set as my home time, you press and hold the top left and top right, and you'll hear a fast double beep. And now I have time zone 4 is time zone 1. And if I go to time zone 4, it's now NYC. If I want to set it back to the way it was, I go to 4, press top left, top right again, and it swaps it back. The last thing that I can show on that you can do on this specific screen is how to mute beeps. This is done by pressing the bottom left, pressing and holding for 2 seconds until you see mute appear at the top left of the display like this. See that? I press and held. And now when I press mode, the bottom left, there's no beeps. The alarm will still sound, and the countdown timer will still sound, but regular mode to mode beeps will be muted. If I want to enable the beeps again, I just go back to the home screen and then press and hold bottom left again for 2 seconds until I hear a beep, and then it's out. And that's it. The next screen after this one is the World WT, which is world time. It'll briefly display WT and then show the time zone. I have mine set to UTC. This can only be scrolled forward with the bottom right button. So if I press it individually, and notice on the map how it's showing different time zones of the world. If I press and hold, you can sort of quick scroll through it. I'm going to set mine back to UTC just because that's the way I prefer to have it. That is pretty much all you can do here, as far as I know. Next screen, press bottom left. This is as it states prominently at the top of the watch, this is a 5-alarm watch. You have the time in which the alarm will sound if it is enabled, and then a digit to the right that shows which alarm you are adjusting. This is alarm number 1, 2, 3, and you're going through it by pressing the bottom right, 4, 5, and finally hourly chime. We'll start with this first. Hourly chime means that the watch will beep twice at the top of every hour. Actually, you know what? I will show one more thing before I show this. To test the alarm tone, press and hold the bottom right for 2 seconds and hold. So you hear that. It will keep beeping until you let go. Alright, so to enable the hourly chime, just go till it shows a double zero and then press the top left. You'll notice it says SIG at the top. That means signal, hourly signal. So that's now enabled. And then we'll go to, I'll just set alarm 1 here. Keep it nice and simple. Setting the alarm is the same as setting the time. Press and hold the top left. And we'll start by setting the hour. I will set this to 10 a.m. and you can go forward or backward with this one, which is nice. I'll set this one to 10 a.m. and then press the bottom left and go to the minutes and set it to 10:30. And then when I'm done, I press this. Now you notice it says 1-on. I'll explain to you what each of these means. Off means the alarm is off. It keeps a setting, but it won't sound. If I press it again, it's 1-on, and when you do that, ALM will show at the top left, indicating that one or more of the 5 alarms is enabled. If any alarm is enabled, ALM will show. Once this alarm sounds, it will then turn itself off. Well, not the watch. The alarm will be disabled at that point. It will turn to this. So that's what happens. After this alarm sounds, if it's set to 1-on, it then switches over to this. If it's set to just on, what that means is that the alarm will sound daily, every day, until you disable it. That's all that means. So let me just set this back to the way I had it. It's really nice that you can actually scroll backwards with this particular model. A lot of Casio watches don't do that, but this one does. And turn that off. And there we go. And I will go back to SIG and turn that off. Notice it will go out. Alright. On the next screen we have a timer. If it's set to all zeros and you start the timer with the bottom right, you'll notice the maximum time that you can count down from is 24 hours. To stop, press the bottom right. To reset, press the top left. Now, to anyone who would ask, does this have an auto repeat feature? No. Which is disappointing. But, you know, given all the other features, it's forgivable. To set the alarm, press and hold the top left. You start with the hour, and then press mode to go to minute. You know, you go back and forth with these two. And you can actually set this down to the second. Many Casio watches that have a timer feature will not allow you to set seconds. This one you can, even as little as 1 second. So if you wanted a 1 second timer for whatever reason, you can do it. We'll set it to 5, and then to escape that, press the top left. To start the timer, press the bottom right. When the timer completes, it will beep for 10 seconds, like that. You can interrupt the beep by pressing any button. Set that back the way I had it. Now, if you have the timer running, can you go back to other screens? Sure. The timer is actually still running, so if I go back to it, it's still going. And that's that. The next screen, STW, is a stopwatch. You start the stopwatch by pressing the bottom right. You stop it by pressing the bottom right and reset it with the top left. The only other thing that you can do here is set split times, and the easiest way I can to describe split times is first and second runner finishes. Imagine there are 2 people in a foot race, and the first runner is about to cross the finish line and does. This is blinking, meaning that the watch is still running. The stopwatch is still running, and you're waiting for the second runner. The second runner is about to cross the finish line, and we use this button now, and does. So this right here, and notice it stopped blinking, this is the first runner's time, and we press this one to get the second runner's time, which is 26:50, and to reset, press this again. Most people never use that feature, but you know, it's there. So it's on every Casio digital, as far as I know, has that split time feature. And I think that is it. I think that's all of what you can do on this watch. On a final note, I will say that this instruction that I just gave is identical to two other watches. This one, the A500W, identical feature set, exact same buttons are pressed, and AE1200. Again, let's see if I get that in view better. There we go. Same. Oh, this thing. This is what I'll talk about last. What is this? This is actually a digital representation of an analog clock. This is the same time as the home time. Is it? Yeah, it's a little difficult to read. I'm trying to show this. There's actually, you can see it right here. There's actually a second track. You can see it, and the light doesn't really show it. You can see that. And the longer hand is the hour, and the shorter hand is the minute. Now, when is this actually useful? Well, it is useful when you're on other screens. So if you're, for example, running a stopwatch, this actually shows the current time. This does not change, which is cool. So if you're on other screens that don't show the time here, it actually does show the time here. I personally consider it kind of a useless feature, but hey, it looks kind of cool, kind of like a radar screen. But it's not just decoration. That actually does show the current time in an analog style format. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. The home screen, when going through the screens, has a beep that is pitched higher. So listen close. So right there, you can actually go by sound. So for example, if I'm not even looking at the watch and I'm going through the modes, I know I'm on the main timekeeping screen just from that higher pitch beep. So for example, if I'm on the alarm screen for whatever reason and I'm not even looking at it, I just listen for that higher pitch, and it goes back to the main timekeeping screen. So that is it. Focus! Oh my God! There we go. Alright, that's it. See ya.